All right, welcome back, everybody around the world and all my subscribers. I have an important update. Um, Thanks to the Lord, it turned out that I was correct. So, upon further and better research, I actually found out that my remarks about the 10th, 11th ruler of Islam in my end days book were actually correct. So, as I say in the book, it's on page 59. It was the 10th Caliph of Islam, who was the 11th ruler, was Abd al Malik. And somebody, a viewer, being diligent, spotted that according to one given list, which is probably the same list I had originally used, that he actually isn't the 10th, he's only the ninth, which would have thrown off what I stated. Um, However, welcome, man. So what I actually did was I did deeper research. Admittedly, when I was doing my research, when writing the book, one of the main lists that I used for the rulers of Islam was from Wikipedia, plus a little bit extra extraneous research. Um, I did some better research just now. I used the AI software to speed up my research because it does everything at the speed of light. And what I learned from quizzing it with a bunch of different questions: who was the ninth ruler? Who was the 10th ruler? Who was the 11th? List the first 10 rulers. List the first 11 rulers. By asking different questions, what I found was that there are very slight discrepancies in the lists. Okay, and it's for different political reasons and historical reasons. I then asked a question. Okay, was according to Islam, who were the first 11 rulers, starting with their founder, right? So I found discrepancies in them. Let me just let the cat out real quick. Why do you always gotta do this, Pete? The cat always waits for me to start the video. So, anyways, long story short, what I did was the final question. It got very confusing because the list, all the different ways of asking the question, when I asked it according to Islam, they all agreed on the first seven, right? First six or seven. Those were established like across the board from different perspectives. And then there got into, because of different political reasons at the times, who was the official ruler, who wasn't the official ruler. That's why there are some slight changes after that, depending on what list you're looking at. I was like, aha. So what I did was I compared the various different lists, their orders. I then, analyzed, okay, which ones are definite, which ones are, variable. And I made a composite list, okay? And I then asked the AI, and I'll read my question and the answer from it, right? Is it accurate that this is the list of the first 11 rulers of Islam, starting with their founder, who I won't name, and subsequently the end result is that I was correct, that the 10th ruler was Abd al-Malik, like I said in the book, the 10th caliph, who would be the 11th ruler, right? So this is the question that I asked. I asked, is it accurate to say that the first 11 rulers of Islam were, number one, the founder, number two, Abu, number three, Umar, number four, Uthman, number five, Ali? These are established across the board. Everybody agrees on these, right? And number six was Hassan. He's not named in some of the lists, but it will explain in the answer, right? Hassan is number six. Number seven is Muawiyah, the first. Number eight is Yazid. Number nine is Muawiyah, the second. Then 10th is Marwan, the first. And then 11th is Abd al-Malik. Okay? Is this correct or not? Sorry, is it accurate to say that the first 11 rulers of Islam were? Okay, so if it wasn't accurate to say that, the AI would say that, right? Because the AI is not biased. So this is the answer from the AI. Long story short, turns out I am correct, and I was correct in my book. And maybe the reality was that many years ago, when I was doing the side research for this, I went over all these things and I've just forgotten some of these little aspects, right? Because I was quite certain when writing and publishing the book that I was accurate in this, right? Turns out I was, right? But anyways, so this is the answer, right? The AI says, to determine the accuracy of the claim that the first 11 rulers of Islam were the founder, Abu Umar, Uthman, Ali, Hassan, Muawiyah the first, Yazid, Muawiyah the second, Marwan the first, and Abd al-Malik, we need to analyze each individual in the context of Islamic history and leadership. So the first one, their leader, from 570 to 632 CE, the Prophet is considered the founder of Islam and served as its first leader until his death in 632 CE. His leadership was both spiritual and political. Next, Abu, from 573 to 634. Following the Prophet's death, Abu was chosen as the first caliph by consensus among the Muslim community. His rule lasted from 632 to 634. Next was Umar, from 584 to 644. After Abu's death, Umar became the second caliph. He is known for significant territorial expansion and administrative reforms during his reign from 634 to 644 CE. Next, we have Uthman from 576 to 656. Uthman succeeded Umar as the third caliph and ruled from 644 to 656 CE. Those initial dates are probably their lifespan, actually, right? So he ruled from 644 to 656 CE. His leadership saw further expansion, but also internal dissent leading to his assassination. Fifth was Ali ibn Abi Talib from 600 to 661 CE. Ali was appointed as the fourth caliph after Uthman's death. His rule from 656 to 661 was marked by civil strife known as the First Fitna, Islamic Civil War. Sixth was Hassan. Now, he is not named in some of the lists, and this explains why. But Hassan ibn Ali from 625 to 670 CE. Hassan, son of Ali, briefly assumed leadership after his father's assassination. Aha, that's important. But abdicated in favor of Muawiyah the first in order to avoid further conflict. His rule lasted only a few months in 661. But that still counts. He's still ranked. He's mentioned in other lists. He was a son of one of the other rulers. He officially ruled for a period of time. And even in the biblical king lists, some of those kings only ruled for a few months, right? So even biblically, there's nothing wrong with the fact that he ruled for a few months. But that's probably why he's kept out of the other lists that people might commonly see. But next, number 7 would be Muawiyah from 602 to 680 CE. Muawiyah was a governor under Uthman and later became the first Umayyad caliph after Hassan's abdication in 661. He ruled until his death in 680. Now, if Hassan abdicated his throne or position, that truly means that he did hold it for that period of time. Next, number 8 would be Yazid. Yazid's from 645 to 683 CE. Yazid succeeded his father Muawiyah the first and ruled from 680 to 683 CE. His reign is noted for the Battle of Karbala and significant opposition against him. The 9th ruler, Muawiyah from 665 to 684 CE. He was briefly caliph after Yazid's death, but only ruled for a few months before abdicating due to lack of support. Now, ironically, this is further support for the fact that Hassan should be in the official list because he ruled for the same length of time as Hassan, but Muawiyah II is mentioned in the other lists, right? So there you go. Next, and he also abdicated the throne, just like Hassan did. So if you're going to count Muawiyah II, you should also count Hassan. Next, and Marwan I would be the 10th ruler from 623 to 685 CE. It says, after a period of instability following Yazid's death, Marwan I became caliph and established a more stable Umayyad rule from 684 until his death in 685 CE. Notice the dates are now getting close to the Dome of the Rock date in 688. Okay, now the 11th ruler, Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan from 686 to 705 CE, Abd al-Malik succeeded Marwan I and is known for consolidating Umayyad power and implementing administrative reforms during his reign from 685 to 705 CE. And I just want to mention before I forget, in some of the lists that I looked up, they differ. Like I said, there's differences in the latter half of this list. The first 5 are established across the board. They're inarguable, but there were some slight differences depending on which list you're looking at. Some of the lists, a couple of the lists that I was looking at, didn't even list Abd al-Malik as a caliph or a ruler, which is surprising because even Wikipedia does list him. He was the ruler who built the Dome of the Rock, he was definitely a ruler. Why is it that some lists don't list him, right? But Abd al-Malik, 11th ruler, he lived from 686 to 705 CE. Abd al-Malik succeeded Marwan I and is known for consolidating Umayyad power and implementing administrative reforms during his reign from 685 to 705 CE. Conclusion. The list provided accurately, so the list that I supplied there of these rulers, the list provided accurately reflects a sequence of leaders recognized within Islamic history, not other people's opinions, following the Prophet's initial leadership up through early Umayyad rulers. The first 5 are universally acknowledged, like I said, as part of what is often referred to as the rightly guided caliphs. Hassan's brief leadership is sometimes debated regarding its classification as a formal caliphate. The subsequent rulers listed are recognized within historical accounts concerning their roles within the Umayyad dynasty. Thus, it can be concluded that it is accurate to say that these individuals represent some of the earliest rulers following the Prophet within Islamic history. Final conclusion says the answer is accurate. Okay, so there we go. So I would say that I definitely was correct, ironically, and there you go. So I took down my hour-long video yesterday where I yacked about how I made these mistakes and lamented over it and all that blah, blah, blah. So really the only mistake that's left in my book is the really insignificant one where I missed 7 years off the king list, which means we're just in, instead of it being the year 6000 in 23-24, it was 2023 or 24, it was 6007 or whatever, right? Minor detail, doesn't really matter. That first chapter with the 6,000 years, it's not even a biblical prophecy, it's just a tradition, right? So I'm back to feeling quite content about the book now, so that's pretty good. I still have to put out a revised edition, however, because to reflect the fact that we're in 2025, therefore it should be going by the completion date of the Dome of the Rock and not the initiation date of the Dome of the Rock. That's all, quite simple, which I did cover in a chapter in this book anyways, right? So I feel a lot better now. Oh, cool, man. I never got to watch NASCAR. I enjoyed racing as a NASCAR and Gran Turismo, though. But yeah, so that's great. I'll keep the videos short. I have time to make some other videos, so I'll go do them. But thank you, dear Lord, because I didn't see this little blessing coming. I was actually correct in that, because I felt really perplexed how I could be wrong after that person very kindly pointed out. But the answer as to why they found that discrepancies, because there's discrepancies in the lists of the rulers, right? So like I said, I came from this approach. I looked at different lists and noticed that there were some differences in these latter rulers, latter in terms of the first 11. And then what I did was I asked the AI, which can do all the research across all the literature available online at the speed of light, and I asked it tailored questions. Who are the first 10 rulers? Blah, 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 blah. And they did compared and all that. So I did it thoroughly. And then at the end of my thorough analysis and all that, I had my compilation of the rulers based upon the lists and research and facts. And then I asked the AI the question that I just asked. Is this list of the first 11 rulers accurate? And it says yes. And long story short, the only reason al-Malik would be ranked as 9th instead of 10th caliph, meaning 10th instead of 11th ruler, because when you count the founding prophet, he counts as the first. The only reason why al-Malik would be the 9th caliph and not the 10th is because a lot of lists don't count Hassan. Okay, so there you go. Hassan wasn't some nobody. He was a son of one of the prior famous rulers. He did officially rule. He abdicated his throne after a few months, no different than one of the other caliphs who came just a couple of rulers after him. So there you go. Turns out that I was correct. Thank you, dear Lord. Thank you for that. But anyways, let me get going. I'll get started on another video while I have a chance, because I probably only have about an hour or so to make some videos. So anyways, take care, folks. And at some point, I'm going to have to edit all the titles and descriptions for my 100 end days. So my end days videos playlist, which has like about 90 something, 98 or 100 videos, I privatized it because right now, many of those titles talk about 23 or 24. They need to be edited with a note in the description, and I might just delete some of the videos. But often during these videos, I'll make unique, important points. So that's why I didn't want to just randomly delete them, right? So all the ones that I will leave up in that playlist, when I reactivate the playlist to make it public again, I will have to change all the titles and descriptions first to make note of blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Right? So for now, that playlist will remain private. But so few people watched those videos anyways. Like, it really was like 20 or 30 views on average per video. Most of the time it's the same people watching it. It's me watching them a bunch of times each as well, so it's not really doing any harm. But anyways, so that's good news. Anyways, see you in a bit, see you soon, and thank you for coming by.